I know you know. I know. You know. I know you.
Think I ain't spoke to my son. Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmama, he's going to prison.
I said a while ago when T.I.'s son King was getting a lot of flack and a lot of heat in the media, that to me he just looked like a young kid that wanted to prove to his father that he was a man.
They say every empire falls in silence before it crumbles in public. And tonight, rumors say the Harris household is shaking. Multiple blogs and fan pages are buzzing that Tiny may have finally said enough, allegedly filing for divorce after T.I. appeared to turn his back on their son, King. We're not claiming these headlines are confirmed facts. What's spreading online are reports, whispers, and leaked insider tea that have fans glued to their screens.
Alright, I need you to step out the vehicle.
What you want to do? You want to take my gun off my head?
Yes, sir.
There's one in the head.
Does your buddy have one as well?
What's the gun, brother?
Alright, just hang tight right here for me. Let me clear this. I don't want any accidental fires.
There's no safety. You got to take it.
There's no safety.
Take
Okay.
it out.
Well, I'm not going to mess around with that too much. Let me just set this down right here. Dude, step out for me. Yes, sir. Place your hands behind your back for me. Alright, right now you're just being detained. You're not under arrest. We're gonna be at the church. Alright, I appreciate you being cool, man. We're just gonna take a look at this information, make sure it's valid.
According to the chatter, emotions ran high as years of tension boiled over. The arrests, the viral clashes, the stadium scuffle, and now a mother who, if these claims are true, decided to protect her peace first. Comment sections are on fire, group chats are split, and the family's most loyal supporters are asking the same question. Is this the end of Atlanta's first family, or just another storm they'll weather? Allegedly, friends are picking sides, relatives are staying quiet, and King's name keeps reappearing at the center of the chaos. If even half of what's being said has weight, the fallout could reshape the brand, the music, and the legacy. Stick around, because the story the internet is telling tonight has twists no one saw coming, and the next move could change everything. Rumors have been swirling across blogs and social media timelines, and the picture they paint is pure chaos. The Harris family, once seen as Atlanta royalty, is now being portrayed in headlines as fractured beyond repair. Whispers say Tiny's patience snapped the moment Ty allegedly turned his back on King, leaving her to pick up the pieces of a broken household. Fans are stunned because for years, despite their ups and downs, Tiny was the one who stood by him. She endured cheating scandals, fiery public arguments, and even T's prison stints. But this time, the chatter suggests she simply couldn't take it anymore. Insiders hint she reached her limit when Ty not only failed to defend King during his most turbulent moments, but allegedly distanced himself to protect his own image. To many, it looked like a father choosing reputation over family. People close to the situation claim the cracks had been visible for years. Ty's tough love approach toward King was always controversial. And while he insisted he was trying to teach his son hard lessons, Tiny reportedly saw it as neglect. She believed that instead of mentoring, Ty was pushing King further away. Blogs are now filled with clips resurfacing Ty's old warnings, moments when he openly admitted his son was heading for prison. To fans, these old videos now feel less like fatherly advice and more like foreshadowing of the mess we see playing out today. Tiny, as the rumor goes, saw those same clips and used them as ammo. She allegedly told friends that if Ty saw the storm coming, why didn't he step in earlier to stop it? The scandal only grew when footage of King's arrest went viral. In that police body cam video, the usually defiant King looked different. Gone was the loud bravado, the flexing, the trash talk. Instead, viewers saw a subdued young man, calm and cooperative, almost as if the weight of every mistake had landed on his shoulders all at once. Some fans felt sympathy, but most tore into him online. Comments flooded in, calling him spoiled, ungrateful, and a fraud. The internet didn't hold back. and every insult seemed to pile more pressure on the family. Tiny, sources say, couldn't bear watching her son become the laughingstock of the internet, while Ty allegedly distanced himself further, claiming King's choices were his own. The divide between them grew so wide it spilled directly into their marriage. The Falcons game incident only poured gasoline on an already raging fire. Fans will never forget the clip of father and son grappling in front of a stunned stadium crowd. King swinging on his father, Ty locking him in a headlock like it was a street fight. What should have been a private family dispute became another viral moment, replayed endlessly across blogs and fan pages. Some applauded Ty for disciplining his son, but many others saw it as humiliating, a public shaming that no young man could easily recover from. And Tiny? She reportedly snapped when she watched the clip back. Not only did she see her husband fighting their son in front of strangers, she saw him, in her eyes, fail as a father yet again. Later, gossip claims she confronted Ty, accusing
Hitting me and getting in my comments, telling me what to tell King, okay? I know my son. Think I ain't spoke to my son? Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmama, his ass going to prison. If you got to keep this up, his ass going to prison. Ain't no way around it. Ain't nothing I'm gonna be able to do about it. Can't nobody stop it but him. You know what I mean? I've already had that conversation. I've already made my peace with it. Because I know that energy. I was that energy.
accusing him of escalating the moment instead of defusing it. That confrontation at home, according to whispers, marked a turning point. Tiny allegedly realized she could no longer defend or excuse his actions. Then came the shocking claims that Ty had kicked King out completely. Insiders say this was the breaking point. Tiny apparently discovered her son had been told to figure life out on his own, and she was livid. In her view, T had crossed a line no parent should ever cross. The rumors go further, suggesting she immediately contacted her attorney and began preparing divorce filings, citing abandonment and failure to support their child. Fans debated whether this was tough love or outright cruelty, but to Tiny, it was betrayal. She had watched to build a career off the idea of being a devoted family man, and now she allegedly felt the mask had finally slipped. As these reports spread, Tiny's alleged divorce documents began leaking online. They were full of references to past pain, cheating allegations, and unresolved anger. She reportedly painted a picture of a marriage that had been strained for years, with King's downfall simply exposing what had been broken all along. Friends of the family supposedly confirmed that cheating rumors had always haunted their relationship, and Tiny had quietly endured them for the sake of stability. But when their son spiraled and Ty failed to stand by him, Tiny decided there was nothing left worth saving. She allegedly told confidants, "If he can turn his back on King, he can turn his back on me too." Interview 6/11/648, the blogs ate it up, framing it as the ultimate betrayal. A mother choosing her child over her marriage, a father portrayed as cold and detached, and a son caught in the middle of a family war. Fans were divided. Some said Tiny was right, applauding her for finally putting herself and her children first. Others defended Ty, claiming his brand and career couldn't survive if he kept covering for King's mistakes. Still, the majority agreed on one thing. This family drama had crossed from private heartbreak into a public spectacle. Through it all, King remained a lightning rod. His baby announcement came like a twist no one saw coming. While one part of his life collapsed, another...
Stop talking to me. This ain't your restaurant. This ain't your restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Who the hell is he? What's your name? My name King. You know it and your mama know it. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. That file show. What? On game what? On game what? Come here. I'll show you what I do. Come here, I'll show you what I do.
Another chapter opened with the birth of his own son. Fans speculated that maybe fatherhood would change him. Maybe it would make him slow down and learn the lessons his father couldn't teach. Ty himself even seemed to lighten up when he mentioned becoming a grandfather. almost as if the cycle was starting again. But Tiny, according to rumors, didn't see it that way. To her, it was hypocrisy. T.I. celebrating King's fatherhood after condemning his choices. She allegedly told friends it felt like Ty was enabling King, just as he had once enabled himself during his wild younger years. Interview 9. 7. 9. 46. The tension spilled beyond the family circle. Industry friends, longtime collaborators, and even fans began picking sides. Some argued T was only doing what any father would do, drawing a hard line and refusing to let his son's mistakes drag the family brand into the mud. Others said he abandoned his child at his lowest point, something no parent should ever do. The debate raged online, with hashtags about the divorce and family breakdown trending for days.
To make him look better, he said he know not to. Silver spoon, I ain't never ate with that day a day in my life.
Nigga, you did have a silver spoon.
Look, Sip used to have to come to my grandma's house, because I'm getting in the
You
fight.
cried like a baby to go to your grandmama's
Every
house.
day.
You used to hold your breath.
Every day.
I know you capping. I know you. I know you. I know you.
Shut up. Shut
I
up.
know you
Ain't no
though.
mystery about here.
I know you though. I know you though.
Shut up.
I know you though. I know you. What's wrong with y'all? Why y'all doing that to me? Y'all know me.
Every new clip, every old interview, every resurfaced argument became ammunition in the battle for public opinion. And while Ty kept mostly quiet, Tiny reportedly found her voice in legal filings and private conversations that kept leaking. The story spreading now paints her as a woman who had finally decided to step away from a man who, in her view, failed her and failed their child. Whether those whispers are fully accurate or not, one thing is certain. The world is watching this family like never before. And the fallout, if these rumors hold true, will echo far beyond the headlines. The noise around the Harris family only grew louder as more rumors spilled out online. Blogs began piecing together old interviews, resurfacing reality show clips, and even digging into T's music lyrics to show how long the cracks had been forming. Fans couldn't help but wonder if the divorce filings were just the final straw in a marriage that had been unraveling for years. Insiders claimed Tiny had been confiding in close friends for months, saying she was tired of feeling like she was holding the family together while Ty distanced himself from King's mess. To her, it wasn't just about the arrest or the stadium fight. It was about years of feeling like she was raising their son alone while Ty put his image first. Comment sections across social media were filled with speculation. Some people pointed out that Ty had been warning King publicly for years, reminding fans that he once said, "Ain't nobody gonna be able to stop it but him," when predicting King's path toward prison. Others argued that those words sounded less like tough love and more like giving up. Tiny, the whispers say, agreed with that view. She reportedly told people that Ty spoke about his son like a stranger, not like a father. Every time a clip resurfaced of him warning King about ending up in prison, she felt it was proof that he had already washed his hands of his own child long before things got truly bad. Then came the revelations about King's upbringing that painted an even more complicated picture. King himself once admitted that despite his parents' fame, he grew up mostly with his grandmother. He said the big mansion life people imagined was more of a camera illusion, something he only stepped into when the family was filming their show. For the rest of the time, he lived a more modest life, far away from the luxury most assumed. Fans who once mocked him for being privileged now began debating if his claims of a rougher upbringing were actually true. But to Ty, according to insiders, those statements felt like an insult. He saw King's words as erasing the sacrifices he made, no matter how flawed they were. And when those comments went viral, it created another rift between father and son, with Tiny caught in the middle. Interview 10:52, 11:30, the infamous Waffle House incident also resurfaced, fueling the fire. Fans recalled how King exploded at an employee over pickles on his order, turning a minor mistake into a screaming match caught on video. Instead of earning him respect, it backfired badly, with social media dragging him as entitled and out of touch. Tiny allegedly saw that meltdown as a cry for attention, a young man begging for guidance he never received. Ty, on the other hand,
So motherfucking 12 pull up and they say, hey, who do you belong to? Who raised their hand? Somebody got to raise their hand. I've been seeing him around too there a lot. You gonna raise your own hand? I've been seeing him around too. Well, when you got drugs, it ain't lame. It ain't. I know that. Y'all got drugs around those legal guns. They called. It's not possession of a firearm and commission of a crime, sir. That is a felony. Yeah. Thank you.
He just became a father, so I got 2 grandchildren now.
Wow, congrats.
Yeah, I got 2 granddaughters. I got a grandson on the way.
Wow.
King's about to have a son.
King's about to have a son. Congrats.
Yeah. And I told him I'm gonna make this the greatest gangster of all times. I will raise this child to torture you the way that you tortured me. I promise you, there will be an indictment in this young one.
A lot of people hit me up like, King, I know you tired. You ain't getting no sleep. And the truth be told, before this little I ain't been getting no sleep. You know what I'm saying? I just been outside working. Lifestyle. You know, lifestyle just lifing. You know what I'm saying? And, but now I'm damn sure not getting no sleep. This up every morning. And then around the morning time, he like to do that little live concert I be doing with him. And,
reportedly treated it as just another embarrassment. Sources close to the family claimed that behind the scenes, the argument over how to handle King's behavior grew even more toxic. Tiny allegedly blamed Ty for not stepping in years earlier to teach discipline, while Ty fired back that King was old enough to make his own decisions. Things only escalated when King became a father himself. Ty proudly spoke about becoming a grandfather on a podcast, but Tiny, according to the rumors, was blindsided. She didn't like that Ty seemed to celebrate the news publicly while their son was still dealing with legal trouble and bad press. To her, it felt like Ty was more focused on the headline of grandfather than on addressing the problems King still faced. She allegedly told friends that Ty was repeating the same mistakes he made years ago, choosing clout over family. The arrival of King's baby should have been a healing moment, but instead, it widened the divide. Behind closed doors, the arguments reportedly became explosive. Tiny allegedly accused Ty of humiliating their son in front of the world. From the stadium scuffle to the gun lecture video where Ty and Boozy confronted King on camera. She claimed those moments weren't lessons. They were public embarrassments that pushed King further away. Ty allegedly defended himself, saying he was doing whatever it took to get through to their son before it was too late. The tension was unbearable. Friends who visited the house supposedly described a Cold War atmosphere, with Ty and Tiny barely speaking and King moving in and out like a ghost. Interview 14, 49, 16, 15, the industry couldn't look away either. Whispers spread that fellow artists were quietly picking sides. Some sided with Ty, saying he had done what any father would do and that King had to learn accountability. Others sided with Tiny, saying she had carried the family through years of Ty's scandals and didn't deserve to be painted as the problem now. Every time a celebrity liked or commented on a post, blogs dissected it as if it was proof of loyalty to one side or the other. The whole situation began to feel less like a private family matter and more like a public trial, with millions of fans acting as the jury. Then came the whispers about Ty allegedly kicking King out. Insiders claimed Tiny was furious when she learned her son had been told to survive on his own. She reportedly confronted Ty, saying no matter how reckless King had been, abandoning him was unacceptable. Ty supposedly shot back that he wasn't abandoning his son. He was forcing him to grow up. Their voices rose, accusations flew, and friends who claimed to have overheard say it was one of the ugliest fights of their marriage. Tiny allegedly left the house in tears, and within days, the talk of divorce was everywhere. The family brand, once seen as unshakable, started to crumble in the public eye. Fans began saying the Harris family legacy, carefully built through music, television, and public appearances, was now collapsing because of unresolved private wounds. What had once been marketed as a strong family unit was being torn apart piece by piece, with every leak and rumor adding fuel to the fire. The question hanging in the air was simple but haunting. Could they ever recover, or had the damage gone too far? As the weeks dragged on, the tension around the Harris family only seemed to intensify. The blogs had more fuel than ever, and every day brought fresh whispers about what was happening behind those closed doors. Some insiders claimed that Tiny had finally moved out, taking her belongings quietly while Ty stayed holed up in the family mansion. Others said she was still there, refusing to leave until the divorce papers were fully processed. No one knew for sure, but one thing was certain: the sense of unity that once defined the Harris brand was gone. Fans who had grown up watching their family reality show said it was heartbreaking to see the same couple who once preached love and resilience now on opposite sides of a battlefield. Rumors painted Ty as cold and unbothered, almost detached, while Tiny was described as fiery, hurt, and unwilling to stay silent anymore. Some of her closest friends allegedly urged her to go public, to tell her side of the story and expose what she had endured over the years. They believed she had carried too much for too long, covering Ty's scandals, hiding the cheating, and playing peacemaker while her son spiraled. Fans online began speculating about what Tiny might reveal if she chose to speak up, and the possibilities had people on edge. Could she expose new cheating rumors? Would she reveal more about T.I.'s alleged violent streak? The suspense kept people glued to their screens. Meanwhile, King remained at the center of it all, and the contradictions in his life only made things messier. One day, he was posting photos of his newborn son, smiling proudly with captions about family and responsibility. The next day, old clips of his arrest were being reposted, showing the mistakes that still haunted him. The internet couldn't decide if King was on the path to redemption or simply repeating the cycle he had grown up in. Some fans actually sympathized with him, saying he was just a kid raised in chaos who never got the guidance he needed. Others tore him apart, saying he had been given every opportunity and still chose the streets. The divide in opinion mirrored the divide in his own family. The Falcons game fight continued to be replayed endlessly online, becoming a symbol of everything wrong in the household. People said it looked less like a father correcting his son and more like two men with years of resentment finally letting it out. Ty's headlock on King was seen as a breaking point, a visual that could never be erased. Fans speculated that Tiny replayed that scene in her mind every time she thought about staying, and that it ultimately pushed her closer to filing for divorce. Those close to her reportedly said she saw that fight as proof that Ty didn't see their son as a child anymore, but as an enemy he had to dominate. To Tiny, that was unforgivable. But just when it seemed like things couldn't get worse, more whispers surfaced about Tiny's divorce filings. Allegedly, she didn't just cite King's troubles as the breaking point, she also dragged T.I.'s past mistakes back into the spotlight. Cheating rumors that had once died down were now being mentioned again, along with claims about his temper and controlling behavior. Gossip blogs claimed she accused him of using their marriage for appearances, making everything look picture perfect while ignoring the real cracks beneath the surface. Fans were shocked but also not entirely surprised. For years, rumors had circulated about Ty's infidelity, and Tiny had always seemed to take him back. This time, though, she was reportedly done for good. The industry began to whisper about loyalty tests. Who would stand by Ty if Tiny really went through with this divorce? Who would back Tiny if she chose to expose her truth? Longtime collaborators of T.I. allegedly started distancing themselves quietly, afraid of being dragged into the family drama. Tiny, on the other hand, was said to be receiving quiet support from other industry wives who had watched her carry the weight of a troubled marriage for too long. Some even speculated that Tiny could build her own empire post-divorce, rebranding herself as the strong woman who finally broke free from years of pain. Fans were split and the debate was fierce. On one side were those defending Ty, saying he had done everything he could to warn King, and that no father should be forced to carry the blame for his son's mistakes. On the other side were those siding with Tiny, praising her for putting family before fame and for refusing to stand by while Ty, in their view, abandoned King. Hashtags began trending with Kram Team Tiny and Twan Team Ty flooding social platforms. Every new leak, every cryptic post, every resurfaced clip only poured more fuel onto the fire. But through all of this, King himself seemed to thrive on the chaos. Some insiders whispered that he leaned into his bad boy image on purpose, believing it would finally earn him the respect he craved. Others said his actions were less about fame and more about trying to win his father's approval, even if it meant self-destruction. The whispers even claimed that his arrest wasn't just bad luck, but part of a desperate attempt to prove he was more than just a rapper's son. If that was true, it only made the family's tragedy feel deeper, because in chasing his father's respect, he may have driven his parents apart for good. What made everything even more explosive was his silence. While Tiny was allegedly venting to friends and legal advisors, Ty stayed mostly quiet in public. Fans speculated about his silence. Was it a strategy to protect his image, or was he simply too detached to care anymore? Some believed he was waiting for the right moment to speak, while others claimed his silence was proof that he had already moved on emotionally. Whatever the reason, the lack of words only added to the mystery and kept fans on edge. With every passing day, the situation grew more complicated. What started as rumors of a divorce now looked like the unraveling of a family dynasty. The brand they had spent years building together was collapsing in real time, and everyone was watching. And yet, with all the whispers, leaks, and speculation, the truth remained tangled in the shadows. The only thing people knew for sure was that this story was far from over. As more days passed, the family's story shifted from whispers to full-blown headlines. Gossip sites plastered Tiny's name across banners, alleging that she had officially signed the divorce petition and made it clear she wasn't turning back. Fans were stunned not just by the rumors of her decision, but by the timing. Right when King was trying to navigate fatherhood and T.I. was facing public backlash for staying silent. It painted a picture of a family unraveling at every seam. And for supporters who had always looked at the Harrises as Atlanta royalty, the downfall was both shocking and strangely inevitable. Online forums buzzed with claims that Tiny wasn't just done with the marriage. She was allegedly ready to air everything out. Her supporters hinted that years of silence had left her boiling with resentment. Some said she was prepared to expose the full extent of Ty's infidelity. Others claimed she wanted to reveal the details of how absent he had been during King's most vulnerable years. One rumor even suggested she might sit down for a tell-all interview, the kind that would draw millions of views and rewrite her image from patient wife to survivor of betrayal. Fans debated how explosive such an interview could be, with many saying it would end T's brand completely. But T's camp pushed back in whispers of their own. Insiders close to him allegedly claimed that Tiny's narrative was one-sided, that she was ignoring how many times he had tried to warn King and how much damage King's choices had already done to their family's reputation. They painted Ty as a father who was exhausted, a man who had carried his son's mistakes for too long, only to be punished for drawing boundaries. Whether those defenses were genuine or just spin, the public wasn't sure. What they did know was that T's image as a family man was cracking, and no amount of silence could stop the world from speculating. Then came the most shocking whispers of all, rumors of a secret confrontation between T.I. and Tiny at a private family gathering. Sources claimed that voices were raised, tears were shed, and at one point, Tiny accused Ty of abandoning your own reflection, a line that fans quickly turned into a viral hashtag. Allegedly, King was in the room too, and the tension was unbearable. Some said he tried to defend his mother. Others claimed he simply walked out in silence. Whatever really happened, the story spread like wildfire, fueling the narrative that this wasn't just a marriage falling apart. It was a generational collapse of a family brand. Industry peers couldn't ignore it either. Producers, collaborators, and even reality TV execs allegedly reached out, sensing opportunity in the chaos. There was talk of a potential new reality series focused on Tiny's life post-marriage, painting her as the phoenix rising from the ashes. At the same time, some insiders whispered that Ty was fielding offers to tell his side in a podcast special, where he would allegedly reveal how hard it had been to balance fame, fatherhood, and a rebellious son. Fans didn't know which story to believe, but they knew one thing for sure. The drama wasn't just a family tragedy anymore. It was entertainment. King, caught in the middle, seemed to thrive on the attention. Some said he leaned deeper into music, using the chaos as fuel for his lyrics. Others noticed he was still active on social media, posting cryptic captions about loyalty, betrayal, and respect. Fans couldn't tell if he was aiming those words at his father, his critics, or the entire world. The contradictions only added to his mystique, making him both a villain and a victim in the eyes of the public. Some even speculated that he was intentionally feeding the narrative, knowing the drama kept his name buzzing. Tiny, however, was allegedly focused on protecting King in ways Ty never had. Rumors claimed she was meeting with lawyers not just for the divorce, but to figure out how to safeguard her son's career and financial future. To her, the divorce wasn't just about leaving a husband. It was about preserving what was left of her family. Fans praised her for it, calling her the backbone of the household who was finally putting her energy where it mattered most. And yet, even her strongest supporters admitted that the scars of the marriage would linger, and the shadow of Ty would never fully leave her story. What shocked fans the most was how quickly the narrative shifted from marital drama to questions about legacy. Could the Harris name survive this storm? Some said no, claiming the brand was too damaged, with scandals, arrests, and public fights overshadowing everything else. Others said yes, pointing to Tiny's resilience and King's potential as proof that the family could rebuild without Ty at the center. The debate grew so heated that it split fan communities, with people unfollowing and blocking each other over whose side they were on. It wasn't just a celebrity divorce anymore. It was a cultural event, a public trial of love, loyalty, and legacy. Through all of this, one haunting detail stuck out to fans. Ty had once said he knew that energy, that he recognized in King the same reckless spirit that once consumed him. Now, with Tiny walking away and King struggling to balance fatherhood with a tarnished reputation, it seemed like history had repeated itself in the worst way. And the irony wasn't lost on anyone. The same mistakes that once built T.I.'s image were now destroying his family. Fans said it best in comment sections everywhere. This wasn't just a divorce, it was karma playing out for the whole world to see. The firestorm surrounding the Harris family only intensified, and by now it felt less like gossip and more like a cultural obsession. Every move they made, every whisper from an insider, every cryptic post online was dissected and debated as if it were a national headline. Fans couldn't look away because this wasn't just about a marriage anymore. It was about loyalty, betrayal, and a family that once symbolized unity, now allegedly tearing itself apart from the inside. Rumors suggested that Ty had grown colder than ever. Insiders claimed he rarely mentioned Tiny's name anymore, and spoke about King with a detached tone that shocked those who knew him. One alleged conversation had him saying, "I can't save somebody who doesn't want saving," a line that quickly spread across social media and was turned into memes and hashtags. To his critics, it sounded like abandonment. To his defenders, it sounded like tough truth. Either way, the words deepened the wedge between him and Tiny, who, according to whispers, was furious that he could speak so casually about their own son's struggle. Tiny, meanwhile, was allegedly preparing her own power move. The gossip mill claimed she was approached by producers about filming a docuseries centered on her life after Ty, showcasing her journey from wife to independent woman. Some fans speculated that she might use the platform to finally air out the truth about her marriage. Years of infidelity rumors, the emotional distance, and the pain of watching her child spiral without adequate support. Even the possibility of such a show sent shockwaves through the industry. Would Tiny really break the unspoken code and let cameras into the ugliest parts of their marriage? Or was it just another rumor blowing smoke into an already chaotic fire? The whispers didn't stop there. King himself allegedly started speaking more openly in his music, dropping lines that fans interpreted as veiled shots at his father, phrases about being raised by the streets and finding family outside blood fueled speculation that he was airing out his grievances in songs. Whether intentional or not, the timing made it impossible for fans not to connect the dots. Tiny reportedly supported her son's music, encouraging him to use art as therapy, while Ty supposedly dismissed it as crying for attention. The split in parental support only highlighted the division, painting a picture of a son forced to choose between parents while the world watched. Then came the rumors about finances. Some blogs claimed that Tiny's divorce filings included requests for full control of certain assets, citing Ty's mismanagement and alleged reckless spending. Others suggested she was seeking spousal support, not out of need, but out of principle, to prove that she had carried the marriage for too long while he enjoyed the benefits. Fans debated furiously online. Some said Tiny deserved every penny. Others argued she was trying to tear down Ty's empire out of spite. Whether true or not, the idea of money becoming another battlefield only made the story juicier for the public. Through it all, Ty remained mostly silent, but his silence spoke volumes. Every time he posted on social media about music, business, or anything unrelated to the family drama, fans flooded his comments with demands for answers. Where's Tiny? What about King? Why won't you speak? The silence became its own storyline, a void that fans filled with their own theories. Some said Ty was plotting a comeback, waiting for the perfect moment to tell his side. Others believed he had already emotionally checked out, leaving the family to fend for themselves while he moved on. Tiny's silence, however, was different. While she didn't speak publicly, the leaks from her alleged filings and the whispers from her inner circle made it clear she was not backing down. One rumor claimed she told a friend, "I held it together for everyone else, but now I'm holding it together for me." That single line, whether real or not, spread across social media like wildfire. Fans began praising her as a symbol of strength, someone who finally chose her own peace over a toxic cycle. The hashtags #DodgerTeamTiny and The New Beginnings started trending, showing how deeply her rumored stance resonated with women who had endured similar struggles. King's role in all this remained messy and complicated. Some fans rooted for him, saying fatherhood could finally be the turning point he needed. Others mocked him, saying he was still chasing clout and would never escape the shadow of his parents. Every new post, every new lyric, every sighting of him with his baby mama fueled another round of debates. And while the internet argued, Tiny allegedly stayed focused on protecting him, even if it meant standing against Ty. The fallout extended beyond family and fans. Industry figures were reportedly nervous about being associated with Ty during the scandal. Some collaborators allegedly paused projects, while others distanced themselves quietly. Tiny, on the other hand, was said to be gaining new allies, people in the industry who admired her decision to break free. The shift in loyalty was subtle but noticeable, and it hinted at a bigger change in power dynamics. The once untouchable image of Ty as a family man was fading, and Tiny's star was rising in its place. As the story unfolded, one question loomed larger than all others. Was this really the end of the Harris family legacy? Some believed it was, claiming too much damage had been done to repair the image of unity they once projected. Others believed it was only the beginning of a new chapter, with Tiny carving out her own empire and King potentially redeeming himself through fatherhood and music. Whatever the truth, the only certainty was that the world wasn't letting go of this story anytime soon. The marriage might be over, but the spectacle had only just begun. And so, after all the whispers, the leaks, and the viral moments, one thing is clear: the story of the Harris family has captured the world like never before. From Tiny allegedly filing divorce papers to Ty's chilling silence and King's struggles playing out in real time, the drama has spilled beyond music and family into something much bigger. Fans are left questioning where loyalty ends and survival begins. Is this truly the final chapter for Ty and Tiny? Or will there be another twist that nobody saw coming? Will King find redemption through fatherhood? Or will the cycle of chaos repeat yet again? We can only watch as the pieces fall where they may. But one thing is certain: the legacy of this family will never look the same. Atlanta's first family is no longer the picture-perfect image we once knew, and the cracks are impossible to ignore. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think Tiny made the right move by walking away? Or should he have fought harder to keep the family together? Was King abandoned by his father? Or was Ty right to let him learn the hard way? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because your voice matters in this conversation. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest updates on this wild saga. Because if the past is any clue, the next headline about the Harris family might be even more explosive than this one.